The Mary Celeste, the greatest mystery at sea that has never been solved. Imagine the silence, just the sound of the wind and waves against the hull, a ship adrift in the vast, empty Atlantic. Not a scream, not a command, not a whisper, just nothing. This is the true story of the Mary Celeste. It's not a legend. It's a historical artifact that has baffled researchers, scientists, and historians for over a century. It was December 1872. What Captain David Morehouse encountered that day wasn't a shipwreck. It was a floating nightmare, a perfect puzzle that remains unsolved. And the question is, what's more terrifying? A disaster of which you can see the traces, or one of which none can be found? To understand the depth of the mystery, we need to know the protagonists. The Mary Celeste was a 103-foot brigantine, a respectable ship. Her captain, Benjamin Briggs, was an experienced sailor and deeply religious, a family man. On board were his beloved wife, Sarah, and their young daughter, Sophia, just 2 years old. They were joined by a crew of 7 experienced men. The cargo? 2,700 barrels of distilled industrial alcohol destined for Italy. Their voyage began calmly from New York in November. The Mary Celeste and her counterpart, the Dei Gratia, commanded by Briggs's friend Captain Morehouse, were expected to have similar routes. 28 days later, the Dei Gratia sighted a ship adrift. It was the Mary Celeste. After hours of trying to make contact, a team boarded the silent vessel. What they found was disconcertingly normal and therefore abnormal. The ship was entirely too intact. The sails were hoisted, though somewhat frayed. The alcohol cargo was almost entirely in place, just 9 empty barrels. There was water in the hold, but not enough to sink a ship of that size. The captain's quarters were immaculate, the table set for breakfast, Sarah's sewing still on the sewing machine, Sophia's toys on the floor. The captain's sword was under the bed, but the lifeboat was gone. This is the theory most widely accepted by experts. The alcohol barrels were not airtight. In the heat of the Atlantic, the vapors expanded, and fear of a catastrophic explosion may have haunted Briggs. Imagine the panic, a popping sound, the overpowering smell of alcohol, the fear that a single spark would send them all skyward. Briggs, a cautious man, may have given the order to abandon ship as a temporary measure. They climbed into the lifeboat, tethered by a strong rope, hoping the danger would pass. But then the sea showed its fury. What if it was a simple mistake? The ship's main water pump was dismantled, perhaps for maintenance. By using a less efficient auxiliary pump, they may have incorrectly measured the water level in the hold. A frightened sailor may have shouted that they were sinking. In a moment of collective panic, even the most experienced captain could have made the wrong decision. They abandoned the ship that was, in fact, perfectly safe, committing nautical suicide. The official inquiry considered but ruled out mutiny or piracy. There was no violence. However, modern theories suggest that the crew, perhaps disgruntled, may have threatened Briggs. Or perhaps they tasted the strong alcohol, leading to an intoxicated conflict. But murdering a captain, his family, and colleagues without leaving a single bloodstain, it's incredibly unlikely. And this is where the legend really takes off. Without an easy explanation, popular imagination filled the void, theories that a sea monster like a giant squid ripped them from the deck, or that they were victims of an attack by pirates from a lost kingdom. The most famous, a story by Arthur Conan Doyle, creator of Sherlock Holmes, who wrote a fictional tale about a vengeful curse, which many came to accept as fact. Popular culture embraced the Mary Celeste as the ultimate ghost ship. The ship itself seemed cursed. After the incident, no one wanted her. She passed through a dozen owners, all of them financially unlucky. Her career ended ignominiously. The last owner deliberately sank her on a coral reef in the Caribbean in an insurance scam. Ironically, the ghost ship was forced to commit a crime to die. But her legend never sank. The Mary Celeste became an eternal symbol of the secrets the ocean holds forever. So what really happened? Was it fear of an explosion, a tragic miscalculation, or something our logical minds simply can't grasp? The beauty of this mystery is that it remains open. There's no right answer, and that's why, more than 150 years later, we're still here talking about it. Now I want to know your theory. Leave it in the comments. Which explanation makes the most sense to you? Number 1, fear of vapors. Number 2, panic and error. Number 3, mutiny. Or number 4, crazy theory. Let's debate. If the ocean and its unfathomable mysteries fascinate you, then you can't miss the next video. We'll be diving into the murky waters of another era-defining disappearance, Flight MH370. Subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss it, and leave a like if you loved this journey into the unknown.